You already know that walking burns calories. Everyone knows that. But what almost nobody realizes is that simply moving your legs every single day can physically reshape your brain, protect your eyesight, and shut down diseases that most people think are inevitable with age. This isn't motivation. This is biology. And once you understand the mechanism, you'll realize why walking might be the most powerful health intervention humans have ever ignored. Today, we're breaking down what actually happens inside your body when you walk every day. Not casually, not randomly, correctly. Some of these effects sound exaggerated, almost impossible, like increasing brain volume or reversing insulin resistance without medication. But the science is very real, and it has been quietly screaming at us for decades. However, there's a catch. You can't just wander around the block, scrolling your phone and expect miracles. There is a method, a specific biological protocol. And if you stay until the end, you'll get the exact formula for frequency, intensity, and time that forces these changes to happen without wasting effort. Let's start at the top of the list with the most shocking effect of all. The brain reboot? Sedentary behavior doesn't just make you overweight. It physically shrinks your brain. Studies from major universities have shown that lack of movement accelerates cognitive decline and dramatically increases the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Millions of people are already affected, and that number is climbing fast. But here's the mechanism most people never hear about. Hippocampal volume. The hippocampus is the control center for memory, learning, and spatial awareness. As you age, especially if you sit all day, this region literally gets smaller. That's not metaphorical. That's structural brain loss. But walking flips that process in reverse. When you walk, you're not just getting steps in. You're increasing blood flow to the brain. You're triggering the release of neurotrophic factors, chemical signals that stimulate the growth of new neurons and blood vessels. Walking acts like fertilizer for brain tissue. Over time, consistent walkers show measurable increases in hippocampal volume. You are not preserving your brain. You are rebuilding it. This is why walking is consistently linked to better memory, sharper thinking, and slower cognitive aging. You are forcing oxygen and nutrients into areas that normally starve during sedentary living. You are physically constructing a more resilient brain. And here's the part that should scare you. This effect does not come from intense exercise alone. In fact, extreme training can increase stress hormones that counteract brain repair. Walking hits the sweet spot. Enough stimulation to force adaptation without flooding the system with cortisol. In other words, the simplest movement produces one of the most profound neurological effects we know of. And this is only the beginning, because the same movement that protects your brain also does something that sounds even more unbelievable. It lowers pressure inside your eyes and protects your vision. And most people are walking straight into blindness without realizing it. Now, let's talk about something most people would never connect to walking. Your eyesight. If you think vision loss is just genetics or bad luck, you've been misled. One of the fastest ways to damage your eyes over time has nothing to do with screens. It's pressure. Specifically, pressure building up inside the eye. Conditions like glaucoma don't steal vision suddenly. They crush it slowly. Fluid accumulates, pressure rises, and the optic nerve gets squeezed until it fails. Most people never feel it happening. But here's what almost no one tells you. Walking acts as a pressure regulator. When you walk, your body activates a full circulatory pump. Blood flow becomes rhythmic. Vascular resistance drops. This movement helps regulate intraocular pressure by improving fluid drainage inside the eye. Multiple clinical observations have shown that moderate, consistent walking lowers eye pressure, while intense exercise can actually spike it. In simple terms, sprinting stresses the system. Walking stabilizes it. You're not just burning calories. You are literally walking away from vision loss. Next comes the heart. And this is where fitness culture completely collapses. We've been taught that if you're not running, your heart isn't improving. That belief is wrong. And it's been wrong for a long time. When researchers compared walkers and runners over long periods, something shocking appeared. For preventing heart disease and stroke, walking performed just as well as running. Let me say that again. Just as well. The mechanism isn't speed, it's consistency and blood pressure modulation. A daily walk widens arteries, lowers resting blood pressure, improves cholesterol rate, and forces oxygen-rich blood through the entire system. Walking functions like a natural beta blocker, without the hormonal stress response that extreme cardio creates. High-intensity exercise floods the body with cortisol. Cortisol raises blood sugar, tightens blood vessels, and strains the heart over time. Walking does the opposite. It calms the system while strengthening it. You are cleaning your arteries without activating the body's emergency response. Now let's move to your lungs. Your lungs aren't balloons. They're filters. And like any filter, they clog when they're not used properly. Sitting all day causes shallow breathing. Air gets trapped in the lower portions of the lungs. Waste, gases, accumulate. Immune defense weakens. Walking forces deeper, rhythmic breathing. The diaphragm moves fully. Oxygen exchange improves, but the real benefit is detoxification. With each deep breath during a walk, you expel stale air and metabolic waste trapped in the lungs. You are flushing the respiratory system. This directly strengthens immune function. Poor lung ventilation weakens immunity. Proper ventilation strengthens it. If you feel like you're constantly getting sick, it's not because your immune system is broken. It's because your lungs are stagnant. And this is where walking quietly outperforms almost every other exercise. It improves circulation, respiration, and immunity at the same time, without breaking the system down. But now we reach the point where things get truly uncomfortable for the fitness industry, because the next benefit proves that walking can outperform running at something people think only intense workouts can fix: blood sugar control. And what happens next might save your pancreas. Now we enter the metabolic danger zone. Blood sugar. This is where millions of people lose the game without realizing it. Diabetes doesn't appear overnight. It creeps in slowly, disguised as normal aging, fatigue, and stubborn weight gain. And the biggest lie ever sold is that you need extreme exercise to stop it. In a long-term trial conducted by Duke University, researchers compared runners and walkers over several months. The result was not close. Walkers showed dramatically greater improvements in insulin sensitivity than runners. Not slightly better, several times better. This matters because insulin sensitivity determines whether sugar fuels your cells or poisons them. When you sprint or train intensely, your body burns glucose aggressively. That sounds good, but it comes at a cost. Stress, hormones spike. The pancreas is forced to produce more insulin. Over time, this exhausts the system. Walking works differently. It trains your body to process sugar efficiently instead of urgently. Muscles absorb glucose steadily. Insulin demand drops. The pancreas finally gets relief. If you're a pre-diabetic, running can burn you out. Walking can pull you back from the edge. And the damage doesn't stop with blood sugar. Let's move down to your digestive system, the place where waste either moves or poisons you. Your gut is not a passive tube. It's a muscular conveyor belt. When you don't move, it slows. Waste lingers. Toxins build up. A massive population study tracking over 100,000 people revealed a brutal pattern. Sedentary lifestyles correlate strongly with higher rates of colon cancer and digestive disease. Movement changes that outcome. Walking stimulates peristalsis, the wave-like muscle contractions that push food and waste through your digestive tract. Just 30 minutes a day regulates bowel movements, reduces inflammation, and dramatically lowers colon cancer risk. Even more unsettling, for people already diagnosed, regular walking increases survival rates. You are mechanically assisting your body in eliminating waste before it becomes disease. Now let's talk about muscle. Most people think walking can't change how their body looks. That belief is wrong. High-impact workouts tear muscle fibers and inflame joints. Recovery takes days. Walking is the stealth weapon of fitness. It's low impact, no recovery time. You can do it every single day. 10,000 steps, when done with proper posture, can rival traditional workouts over time. Spine tall, core engaged, arms swing, pelvis stable. Walking trains stabilizer muscles that gym machines ignore. It doesn't destroy tissue. It builds resilience. And beneath the muscle lies something even more important: bone. Your bones are alive. They respond to stress. If you don't load them, they weaken. This is how osteoporosis begins. But walking creates a unique signal. Each step sends a tiny electrical charge through bone tissue. This signal activates osteoblasts, the cells responsible for building bone. You are literally telling your skeleton to reinforce itself. Running can fracture bone. Walking strengthens it. Finally, we reach the spine. The modern human spine is under siege. Sitting compresses it. High-impact workouts pews it. Walking heals it. Your spinal discs have no direct blood supply. They absorb nutrients through movement, like each step compresses and releases them, circulating nutrients and flushing waste. Walking oils the hinges of your spine. Posture improves. Pain decreases. Mobility returns. And now we arrive at the most overlooked transformation of all. Your mind. Because the final effect of walking doesn't just change your body. It changes your emotional chemistry. Now we reach the final transformation. The one people feel first, but understand last. Your emotional state, depression, anxiety, chronic stress. These aren't just mental issues. They are chemical environments. And walking changes that environment faster than most medications. A controlled study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research followed individuals diagnosed with major depression. The intervention wasn't therapy. It wasn't medication. It was walking 30 minutes a day. The result? Symptoms dropped dramatically. Here's the mechanism. Walking burns off cortisol, the stress hormone that keeps your nervous system locked in survival mode. At the same time, it increases endorphins and brain-derived neurotrophic factor, chemicals responsible for mood stability, motivation, and emotional resilience. You don't think you're way out of depression. You move your way out of it. Forward motion and emotional stagnation cannot coexist. Biologically, they cancel each other out. Even more unsettling, studies on healthy individuals show mood improvement without intention. People weren't trying to feel better. They just walked. The chemistry followed. This means your emotional baseline is not a personality trait. It's a movement-dependent state. Now, before you stand up and head out the door, listen carefully. This is where most people fail. They treat walking like a casual activity. They scroll their phone. They shuffle. They wear trash shoes. Then they wonder why nothing changes. Walking only works if it follows a protocol. This is where the FIT formula comes in. It stands for frequency, intensity, and time. Violate any of these, and you get mediocre results. Frequency comes first. This is non-negotiable. The body adapts to repeated signals. Walking must happen daily. If you're starting from zero, begin with 3 to 5 days a week. Even 5 minutes counts. The signal matters more than the duration at first. You are reprogramming cellular behavior. Next is intensity. A slow stroll does almost nothing. You need the talk test zone. You should be able to speak in full sentences, but you shouldn't want to. If you could sing, you're too slow. If you're gasping, you're too fast. This zone engages the heart without triggering excessive stress hormones. Then comes time. The biological threshold is 30 minutes. That's when the deep adaptations begin. Aim for around 6,000 steps initially. Ignore the obsession with 10,000. Earn it gradually. There are 3 rules that multiply results. Drink water before you walk. A dehydrated system can't adapt. Swing your arms. This engages the upper body and increases calorie burn without extra strain. And finally, walk at the same time every day. Morning is ideal. It resets your circadian rhythm and stabilizes energy levels. The reason walking works so well is simple. It's free. It's repeatable. And it aligns with human biology instead of fighting it. This is why pharmaceutical companies can't patent it. This is why the fitness industry downplays it. You can let rust accumulate. You can let your brain shrink and your metabolism slow. Or you can stand up, lace your shoes, and reclaim control one step at a time. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Movement is. If you're committing to the protocol, comment, I am walking below. Let's see who's serious about protecting their biology. like the video to spread this information. Subscribe for more breakdowns of the systems they never explain. Stay moving. Stay sharp.